I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Urbana Free Library on October 9th, 2018. Roll call, please, Becky.
Jane. John.
Present.
Beth.
Present.
Michael.
Present.
Jared.
Here.
Barbara.
Here.
Barb. Here. I'm missing Jeff and Chris. So we are not missing Jeff. Yay.
Jeff has been found. Okay. Do I hear any additions, corrections, or modifications of the agenda? Okay, with the approved agenda, we will move. There's going to be no executive session tonight. And looks like we have no public for comment. So, I'm sorry?
Call to approve the agenda.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ask for a motion.
That's it.
I will move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right. So moved. All right, moving to our presentation.
Call the motion.
Oh,
Call.
okay, thank
Move
you.
and second.
All right. I'd like to call a motion to approve the agenda.
Aye.
Yeah. Well, all those in favor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's right, that is an action item. I got the other action items out. Thank you. A little rusty at this. All right, now, since we have no public, I would love for Elaine to come and tell us about the summer reading program.
Great. It's so good to meet everyone this evening. So I've put together a PowerPoint with lots of pictures to illustrate summer reading and some numbers, and I think you'll enjoy it. The topic this summer was Reading Takes You Everywhere, and we emphasize the exploration of the world around us, people, places, and things. It was a busy summer. As with last summer, the summer reading program was for everyone from birth to adult. So we have 3 programs going on. And we wanted to engage people in the library and encourage reading and exploration. I'll give you an overview of the summer, a report on numbers, and then a list of the community donors involved in the project. Summer reading promotion began May 10th. With staff visiting individual classrooms at 8 schools in 7 days to engage 2,245 students. Summer reading officially began May 21st. Children registered to track minutes. Teens registered to track pages, and adults tracked the number of books they read. The summer reading kickoff party was on May 26th with Jean-René Balaquita and Jason Fickelman. The concert was sponsored by Larry and Margaret Jobe. Partners for the event included the Spurlock Museum of World Cultures, who had World Crafts, and Brandon Rutherford with his Coral Reef Project, who took over a whole section of the children's department with hands-on activities to engage them in the Coral Reef Project. In May, we also released 7 djembe drums. You can see them in the picture here in the bottom corner. They come in one package, and you can check them out and drum away. I understand they were used at the university with freshmen this year. They were doing some kind of drumming activity.
Cool.
I'm excited. All right, so during the summer reading kickoff, we displayed 49 flags, 49 flags of different countries here. And those were on display as families had ice cream unlimited. Yes.
What does that mean? Which flag represents what?
Different, 49 flags of different countries around the world.
Oh, and what?
Because we wanted to emphasize the summer reading theme of Reading Takes You Everywhere, so we were emphasizing kind of a world exploration.
It's not about participants or anything, it's about...
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
So it was fun to see the families, some of them from these countries, saying, oh,
there's your flag, yeah,
in the
okay.
country. So, teens wasted no time in getting started reading, and in 10 days in May, they read over 23,000 pages. Throughout summer reading, children brought in their personal collections to display. So here's one of the collections. It's a map that the child made of all the national parks she visited, and there's a badge system with the national parks, so she got in. We thought that was really timely. And in May, we hosted a child's first library visit up here.
Oh.
June brought a lot of special programs and outreach, 68 events in 30 days. Here you see the popular Pause to Read. A hula party. This young toddler is trying out the hula, where children heard stories, danced, and sampled food from Hawaii. And we also had a weekly drop-in crafts, which you see a sample from here on the bottom right. Children every Monday could come and make a different craft. For the second year in a row, Mr. Michael Murphy donated a butterfly a kit so that young patrons could watch the lifespan of a butterfly, and then if they wanted to, witness the release out in the bee and butterfly garden. And for the third year in a row, the number of books read by adults in the month of June rose, and it was 625. Other June events of note, staff witnessed 4 monarch caterpillars dining in the library's bee and butterfly gardens, one of which was captured on film.
Nice
here.
picture.
4 horses reading with families during the annual Read to the Horses.
I know, I was out of town that day, it's my favorite.
I love the way the child's hand is just
Yeah, gorgeous. Just,
Pay attention.
gorgeous.
The library also had a vinyl record DJ station at the food truck rally, which is the 4th Tuesday of the month for the city of Urbana, over near the Civic Center. And Joel Spencer and Brian Robertson on staff are the DJs for that. We also received a lot of fabric donations for the Teen Open Lab. If you haven't had a chance to stop by, it's every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday after school in this space. And there's a lot of exciting things going on in there. Those fabric donations came from a friend of the library, Sharon Girth, Nina Paley, and Pale Gray Labs, which are downtown.
Cool.
July, we had a big centennial celebration. Many of you were there. And we partnered with the Museum of the Golden Prairie to bring in some toys of the time period. We had Carl Johnson and the New Orleans Jazz Machine, green phosphates, and there was even a drink named after a woman's golfer of the time period. Then in the bottom right, left here, I thought this was a neat picture of the generations, the young and the older generation playing. Now the picture on the wall is not Samuel Busey, but is, I believe, his grandson. There. So the Friday night before the Centennial celebration, the library partnered with the Up Center of Champaign County and to present the library's first drag queen story time. There were over 200 people there. Other events in July included the Traveling Science Center from the Museum of Natural History. They drove this trailer up into Cherry Alley, and about 75 people climbed on board to enjoy the programming. Later in the month, FanCon, formerly the Comic-Con, occurred. We had 345 people come to that program, and you can see the photo booth was very popular. Also in the bottom right here is a young woman who came to Teen Open Lab, and she came back and as an adult and is doing a workshop for other people. So, independent reading continued with 245 book prizes received by children during the month of July. July saw 69 programs and outreach events, such as a social media talk on on risks and realities with former Urbana resident Amy Rickman, a Skype visit from a Chicago author on finding an agent, 3 weekly English conversation classes that continued to meet through August, Library card registration and information at the Urbana School District's centralized registration. And I know the library cards that were set up in the intergovernmental agreement were very popular. And the library partnered with 17 organizations in July to offer programming such as the Urbana Public Arts Program, the Urbana Park District, Clark Lindsay. August, not to be outdone, August had 74 programs and outreach events. This included one robot visitor down here in the left corner. This is a robot built by the Control Z local robotics team. They approached us about doing a program for kids. It was designed to move in multiple directions while throwing and retrieving balls. So all ages were very interested in this. Clothespin puppets were part of a Friday night, First Friday event. Chalk art, optical illusions. We got in some chalk art before it poured the rain down. And then we had a last minute program, 2 Seattle musicians, Mr. and Mrs. Something up here in the upper left corner. Did a concert for us. They have an album called Turn the Page. It's all book related. And it was a lovely evening up in the front reading room. So, and they were just amazed. They had not heard that concerts happen in libraries. So it was pretty exciting. Let's see, 25 partnerships were represented in programming with such groups as the New American Welcome Center, 4-H, CU Fair, La Linea, the City of Urbana Public Works, Coop Adventure Play, and AT&T. So those are just some of the 25 that we partnered with. August also marked the release of 10 mobile hotspots. People can check these out and then have internet access to their house. As of this morning, they have circulated 30 times since August 30th, and there's 10 people on the waiting list, so super popular. This year, the Friends of the Library provided a new incentive for reading. The Friends raffled 3 Kindle Fire tablets up here in the right-hand corner, 1 each for the children's program, teen program, and adult program. Summer reading participants were entered in the raffle each time they completed the program. So if you read, the more you read, the more chance you had to win the Kindle Fire. And I've seen 2 of the people that have won. They're very excited. A local group called the Jaybirds kicked off the UFL Live series in August. 95 attended, and that is supported by the Urbana Free Library Foundation. During August, programming and outreach totals represented 16 ongoing programs that occur weekly or monthly. And I think this is the thing to know about summer reading. We've got all this special programming for summer reading, and we're also doing all of these other things that happen every month, like the early childhood programs, Chess Club, Teen Open Lab, Project Read, the Volunteer Helpline, 50+ Connections Pop-Up, and monthly programs. We're part of those 16 ongoing programs like Baby Yoga, Youth Artist Workshop, Manga Club, Second Saturday Board Games, Free Legal Advice Clinic, and Connections Cafe. So it's a hack it in place. Did I already do this one? I did. I went the wrong direction. Okay, so what does the summer reading program look like at a glance? What do the numbers look like? So we had a total of 1,221 people registered for summer reading from birth to adult. It's down from last year from 128, by 128. But 1,238 book prizes were awarded for those who reached their reading goal. It's down from last year, but it's up from 2016. So we seem to be kind of holding our own there. What does that look like in minutes, pages, and numbers of books? Children read 436,200 minutes. Teens read 287,977 pages, and adults read 1,827 books, which is over 376 more books than read last year by adults. So we don't really definitely hot. Looking at programs and outreach, I love these numbers. 9,894 people attended programs and outreach. And you might wonder how this compares to last year. It's only 39 less than last year. And last year we had an eclipse party with 300 attending, so Great. And 238 programs and outreach in 111 days. That's over 2 programs that are outreach a day. And it's only 2 less than last year. And one of them was the Eclipse Party. So. And I have to point out this cat up here. We, along with many collections like the National Park one child brought in a collection of cats she had made out of cardboard and named them. They all had different personalities. They all were decorated differently. It was pretty amazing. All right, so we couldn't do this without our summer reading donors. So Boom Studios, Brandon Rutherford. Brandon was responsible for the saltwater coral reef tanks we had for almost a year and a half. Courier Cafe, CU Community Fab Lab, Dairy Queen, Gopher Mafia Games, I love that name. Allied Media, Image Comics, Larry and Margaret Job, they are responsible for the concert kickoff, summer reading kickoff. Meyer, Mr. Michael Murphy, Old Chicago Pizza, Pancheros, Pathfinder Society, Peggy and Bob Podlasek, who with Allied Media funded the FanCon, Pet Zone and Fun Center, Texas Roadhouse, and Urbana Park District. And a special thank you to the Friends of the Library, who funded 1,238 book prizes and 3 Kindle Fire tablets. So that's pretty special for the participants. So that's what I have this evening. Are there any questions people have?
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, really.
Elaine, did a really nice presentation,
Yes.
and I appreciate the pictures, the words,
Yeah.
but I think they really gave
Yes.
a nice visual for
Yes.
what the numbers were saying, but then this is
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
the reality. So
Right,
it's
'cause it's
really,
really about that engagement with individuals.
Yes.
So we have that kind of engagement every day. So,
yeah, and you see the breadth of the engagement too.
Yeah.
yeah. So, and our completion rates have been pretty steady. We had overall 49% completion rate for all 3 programs, which is looking back at children's statistics, which we have kept a lot longer, at least I know about, it's pretty normal. So we had 1 year that dipped in 2015, but it's pretty average. So, but the adults have the best completion rate.
So have you always, I should know this, but have you always counted the minutes for children? And, okay, because it used to be by books.
Correct. So
Right?
2000,
And
I
it's
think
switched.
2015 or 2016, I can't remember, was the first year that we started counting minutes.
Okay.
Before that, we had the kids write down the titles of the books they read, and if they read 10 books, then they would get a prize. And we tried something different during winter reading, and it worked really well, and people liked it, and so that's when we started the minutes. They're actually, they color in a shape for every 15 minutes that they read, so it's more doable. Yeah, thinking about that. So,
Sure.
good. And we had 3 preschools participating this year. too.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Any other questions?
Do you push any particular, well, you don't, I know, but I mean, like, are they mostly fiction that people are reading, or are they all over the place?
That is a great question. I really have no idea. It would be interesting to go through, like for the adult reading, maybe we could see the titles. Children's, we would just have the minutes. I would say probably more kids, probably 75% of kids like the fiction, but that 25% really loves the nonfiction. They're really focused on that. So, and that's certainly reflected in the kind of books that we have for giveaway in the children's department. So.
Well, and I can speak to the adult and teen because I worked behind the scenes on some of the computery side of things, and I could see the titles that people were entering that they were reading, and I would say the split's about the same,
Okay.
75-25.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your hard work.
Fabulous.
Okay, so we are moving now to the consent agenda containing the board meeting minutes of September 11th, 2018, the payroll for September 14th, total $86,231.57, payroll for September 28th, 2018, $86,879.20, the bills for September 12th, 2018, total $32,775.76, Bills for September 21st, 2018, total of $34,992.98, and the bills for October 5th, 2018, with a total of $44,146.68. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we have 3 action items. And let's move to the first one, which is the resolution number 2018-15 to approve the agreement between the Urbana Free Library and A&R Mechanical Contractors Incorporated. Anyone has a chance to review that?
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the second item, resolution number 2018-15 to approve an agreement between the Urbana Free Library and Reliable Plumbing and Heating Company. Do I hear, oh,
I have a typo in there. Can we amend the agenda to show that should be 16 as it is in the actual,
you know, I saw that and I thought, and I looked and,
on the resolution it says 16.
okay. So I'd like to move to amend the item to read resolution number 2018-16 to approve the agreement between the Urbana Free Library and Reliable Plumbing and Heating Company. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
The second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And the last item.
Now we have to actually vote on it. That was just a
Oh,
motion to vote
because
the-
we didn't get the
amendment.
amendment, so, okay, now I'd actually, do I hear a motion to approve the amended item for resolution number 2018-16 to approve the agreement between the Urbana Free Library and Reliable Plumbing and Heating Company?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And our last item is for the home field energy bill for $10,300.53. Do I hear a motion to approve? Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have no discussion items for tonight on the agenda.
Just want to make a comment on the energy bill.
Yes.
That's a reminder that when we get a chance, we should, when the opportunity comes up, find a way to cut down that sum. In principle, as possible.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Good comment. Okay, reports of the liaison officers, friends,
That's me, and we did not meet this month. We're going to meet next month.
next month.
So there was no meeting this month.
Great, thanks. And let's see, Chris is not here for the foundation. Celeste, I don't know if they,
They meet next week.
okay, so we have no report. And finally, Jeff, anything for the Illinois?
Nothing much. I'm going to the Illinois Library Association. They have a day Thursday for Trustees Day. So, because I feel really guilty that I don't travel all over the state like all these other folks. So I'm going to go to Peoria
Great,
tomorrow
thanks.
night.
Okay, thank you. Okay, administrative reports. I think everything is pretty much,
I would just like to publicly thank Becky Brown for her amazing work. Don't snort. Becky has worked for the past year and a half on the Munis transition, and yesterday and today was the day that we switched payroll from the old system to the new system. And it has been blood, sweat, tears, lots of chocolate, and lots of good humor on Becky's part, and I'm grateful for all her work.
okay, no, can we applaud
It's so far,
that?
Yes.
so far, so good.
We are very glad to see Jeff tonight because I found out today that the way we transfer the money for everybody's money to go into their bank accounts on Friday is different with this new system, and I have to have a signature from a signer on the account to be able to change that. So if he hadn't come tonight, I was going to track him down. So it's very good that you're here tonight, Jeff, for a whole variety of reasons, but I really need your signature so we can get paid on Friday.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, with that,
I just had a couple of comments about the, about Celeste's report, just comments and a question. First of all, I wanted to make note of the Pygmalion Festival and how important I thought it was that the library opened that up. I just think It was cool. And how many were here? The poet was amazing. And there were babies to old people in that room. And she was just wonderful. And she was a poet of color, which I think was really important for a lot of people. So thank you for getting her. She was fabulous. I mean, so. Okay, the other thing is the Immigrant Welcome Awards, which I think is a wonderful thing. And Celeste, are you on the board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just one suggestion. I got a ton of people saying to me, nominate, 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 which I did, but could you tell the group next year that when we nominate people, we'd like to hear back, did they receive it?
Okay, yes.
Because I never received anything, and you nominate online, and I thought maybe it went into cyberspace. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else have any comments, or Celeste, is there anything you want to add? And I have to say, of course, I'm really stoked about the racist sculpture.
Yeah.
And especially the
Yes,
fact that
yes.
the marathon turn, that's
Yes.
just so cool.
Wonderful.
It's going to
Yes.
be really cool.
Right.
So hopefully within the next, it sounds like within the next month we'll have it.
Yeah.
So they want to get it in early November, so maybe it sounds like before the next board meeting. So we will let you know when the date is for that.
And especially since we have a little more of a timeline for the MCOR project, and that
Yeah.
as is not that unusual with these large projects, that our timeline's gotten pushed back. So it'd be nice to have something there in the meantime.
Well, the good news about that is that the sculpture doesn't have to be seated on concrete. So we can put it where Bianca and I will be meeting with Rachel Storm to say where we think it will best suit the library and the vista. And then later, if we need to move it, given a driveway coming through, given whatever, someone, not us, can pick it up and move it and not have to re-pour a concrete pad. So that could really work to our advantage as well.
That's really good.
Has anyone suggested that the whole corner be just a sculpture garden?
Not yet, but I'll put that on the website.
I mean, it's small and you get used to having these big spaces, but you could do a different kind of, a little bit of seating, and it's such an odd space until we have the master plan and whatever. So I'm particularly enthused by this audiovisual items to be lent and borrowed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But does that make any difference? Because other places don't lend them, right? So if I needed a book from somewhere, a lot of times they won't send it to us. That just...
This will connect us up with the IHLS share system in a different way. So those libraries that are sharing that we haven't had access to, now will have access. And then they will have access to our collection as well. So we anticipate this will give patrons who have been saying they're sad that we're not in Lincoln Trails the benefit of being in the former Lincoln Trails system. But also will expand it to the country.
So, just because I'm going to be over there Thursday, how does this fit with, I mean, I know that you're not on the computer system that IHLS is on, or that Share is on.
We're in a national database called
Right.
WorldCat.
Yeah.
So people will be able to find us in WorldCat. So they'll still search, and our patrons will search locally and find Champaign or Urbana first. But if they don't find the item here, just like with books, they can go to that WorldCat option and then they get the country. And if it's an Illinois library, it's likely that it will be at no charge. So that will help.
So is there a charge if it's not in an Illinois library?
Some libraries charge us to move the material around, and more frequently that's an out-of-state library or an academic library sometimes. So what happens is if anyone does an interlibrary loan, there's going to be a charge over $10 or any charge at all. Any charge at all. We contact the patron to make sure they're willing to pay something, and if they're not, then we stop. But if there's no charge, we just facilitate the process and get them the item.
And then you didn't say anything, but this thing at the end about the per capita requirement that we need to,
I think that's just a reminder to us that we talked about this in a previous meeting, and it's our responsibility to fulfill that requirement.
Dawn was sending an email. If you have not received it, I will.
No, I must have either been gone for a meeting or missed that one, sorry.
Well, we actually have, at the moment, a problem with our distribution list, so that I have had 2 instances
getting it.
recently. Okay, thank you. That is not good to know, but I'll catch you up then. A couple of our distribution lists, when you send it, but I happened to click on the little plus sign by it, and it said one name. So 2 different lists had different one-name persons. So we are trying to figure out what happened to our distribution list. So we will be checking all of them again. So if you didn't get that particular email from Dawn, I'll make sure she resends. And we're gonna have to just type things manually for a moment until we can find out what happened. Because that's new, they were working and then some of them are not. So thank you, and
So this sort of fits with that, so I'll just mention this. So we talked last time about the requirement to go over the laws and things.
Bylaws.
And I'd mentioned how IHLS does that. And so I brought a copy that, if you could take a copy, then you can see what I'm talking about, and maybe if we need to talk about it in some future dates.
Okay.
But it's like, for my commitment to IHLS, I need to read these like 10 pages, and then there's a little check sheet at the end, and I sign it and I send it in, and it's all trusting that I really read it. So, you know, it takes care of the legal part of it, and it's very simple. So.
thank you.
It's a little more fun.
I just have one more comment about this report from the Park District, and thank you for including it. And one of the things I noticed in reading it is teens being underserved, or the perception that teens are underserved, and it just seemed to me like that would be a really great intersection between the library and the Park District, which I know, I noticed from summer reading that's already happening, but I mean, that'd be a really great thing to think about in our retreat or whenever.
And Corky and I forget the other person's name are coming next month to talk to you about the actions they've been taking since
Oh,
this. So
great.
next month they'll be coming to give a
Yeah,
report to you.
wonderful, yeah.
The people from the Park District?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they did this report about a year and a half ago, and so they've had time and have been making steps to addressing the issues that are raised.
So, I haven't seen the full report, but I have this axe to grind about arts programming in the Park District, which they don't do because they made this agreement with Champaign and nobody knows about it. But Champaign doesn't promote the fact that you could take art classes over there for no extra charge. So it is a disjunction in this, you know, if I'm going to have a chance to talk to them. But what occurred to me was, you know, this teen lab, you know, maker spaces, it's kind of arts and crafts to a great extent. It would be a nice partnership with a Park District if it wasn't just an isolated thing down here. And it seemed like it would be a kind of thing that they could get into, not just for summer camps, but that, you know, they could make it part of Anita Purvis or something like that. But it all revolves around this whole, we won't do arts programming because we're not going to do that. And when you look at the survey, or at least the executive summary, they don't mention painting and all that kind of stuff. They just mention dance in the arts. So I don't want to like embarrass anybody, but I'd really like to. I was like, I'm going to write a letter and find out what this is about. But it is an odd disjunction, especially if you think of the makerspace movement. And we all know this is a thing that I'm like fixated on and stuff. So no, I mean, it just it was really cool. But then I'm thinking, if as you go through this, they're not talking about, or at least in the executive summary, they're not talking about kinds of programming that isn't offered. They don't say, I mean, what they do sort of, but you don't get the sense that people want some kind of programming that's not being offered right now. You know, they're not participating in things maybe, but nobody's saying, well, we'd like to have a skate park or something like that. And it's the same with the arts. If you don't think about it, you know, they don't know that they're missing out on painting and whatever. Okay, sorry.
I have a question about that. Why are arts in Champaign? Why did they make this
They
agreement?
made a gentleman's agreement that it's not in writing, but several people have referenced it to me, where when they opened Anita Purvis, Champaign said, we won't offer any environmental programs if you don't offer any arts programs. They opened Springer. And Springer is like thriving. There, you know, there's always oversubscribed, but they don't circulate the catalog in Urbana. So I would always bump into people like, oh, can I take those classes? You know, it's like, yeah, and they're totally the same price. And it's sort of like the two libraries. Some people are still surprised that they can go to Champaign and check out books,
Yeah.
you know. And I mentioned it when I worked at the Park District, to the point where they got sick of hearing about it. And they don't want to print the catalogs, or they're oversubscribed with Champaign people, so why would they want all these Urbana people? So the only Urbana people that you would see in classes would be those who had sort of discovered it, you know, and they checked on the internet, oh, I could take a drawing class, you know, the only place it is.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, no, it's kind of an odd little thing, but, you know, that was many years ago.
This is not in the Urbana Park District catalog, but we can take advantage of that benefit?
Well, if it is, it's a very minor thing. I mean, even if they just put like a page in each
A note or
catalog that
something,
said, Champaign Park District, here's
Yeah.
the website, you can take any of those classes for the same price.
Yeah.
You almost have to hit people over the head with that.
It should be.
Don't I sound kind of cranky tonight? I'm sorry.
No, it's a good
No,
idea to
these
share
are really good
resources.
information.
I-
That's a very good point.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea to share resources, but you have to let people know.
Yeah.
And then we have one administrative report.
Yes, just a quick administrative report and plug for the Champaign County Master Gardeners. I don't know if you saw the picture in the report of Megan's garden. If you have a chance to step by it, it's absolutely beautiful. And we're very, very grateful for Christina's work. And we're going to help them. I think we were so lucky with the weather this weekend because they planted on Wednesday and Thursday, and they left town over the weekend, and then didn't have that much time to water even at the beginning of the week. So the fact that we had a very wet weekend was great for the garden. So it's beautiful, and we're just very grateful for their work.
Very nice. Okay. I think there's nothing more to add. We have no unfinished business tonight. So, do I hear a motion to
I don't think
adjourn the meeting?
we're not allowed to finish this early, are we?
Hey, I'm
It's in the
standing in
bylaws
and
somewhere, it
I
says you have
there,
to
no
go for at least an hour.
problem. Right?
As chair, you just adjourn us. We don't need a motion.
I'm so rusty at this. You are so right, and I appreciate all the help. Well, I hereby call the meeting adjourned.